We are so thankful that you've joined us tonight as we recognize just a few of Northwest's outstanding alumni and friends. Before we get to the awards presentations, there are a few individuals that I would like to recognize and thank. We're privileged and honored to have with us this evening the 10th president of Northwest Missouri State University, Dr. John Jasinski, and his First Lady, Denise Jasinski. Will you please stand? Thank you. I would like to welcome all past alumni award recipients tonight. Would you please stand and be recognized? We are also joined this evening by many individuals who help lead this institution. Please hold your applause until the introductions are finished. Dr. Pat Haar, Chair of the Northwest Board of Regents, as well as John Richmond, Board of Regents, and past Regents. Would you please stand? Thank you. Thank you. Mrs. Linda Place, President of the Alumni Association Board of Directors, as well as all current and past members of the Alumni Association Board. Dr. Mark Dahl, back there, President of the Northwest Foundation, as well as all current past members of the Northwest Foundation. At this time, would you please join me in welcoming to the platform the Northwest 10th President, Dr. John Jasinski.
Hi, Bearcats. Is this mic on? Hi, Bearcats. I have to start, Tim, I didn't tee you up for this, sorry, but I'll start out this way anyways. If it's your birthday today, would you please stand? Oh, it's your birthday? Ron Houston's birthday is today? Stand back up, Ron, please. I'm shocked and surprised. I didn't know if it was anybody's birthday, but since it is your birthday, Tim, could you help lead us in the song of Happy Birthday? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ron. Happy birthday to you. All right. Thank you so much for joining us on your birthday. Welcome home, Bearcats. Welcome to our honorees, and welcome to your support systems. And I just want to take a moment and say the honorees will be honored all night long, but we really need to say thank you to your support systems, because we all know that those that get honored, there's somebody behind you. There's many people behind you that, make it all happen. So my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you that have helped our honorees achieve this status and this success. Just want to read a quick letter that I received this week. Dear Dr. J, hope the fall semester is going well for you. I miss home, that being Northwest. I'm currently at University of XYZ in my first month of law school. I have come to appreciate what Northwest truly embodies since my absence from the university. The school really brings students in and makes them feel at home. I love the University of XYZ, but it isn't quite Northwest. I just want to thank you for the opportunities, the memories, and environment that were created. I will be there on homecoming and hope to see you. Hope you enjoyed the random email while I took a break reading possessory estate law. I received that, I think it was Wednesday of this week, and thinking about Alumni Awards Banquet, our honorees, and all that you've done, it just made a lot of sense to come in this week, because here's a recent alum who gets it. They understand that this is home, that we do connect, and we do make a difference here at Northwest Missouri State. You all know that we're in our 111th year at Northwest Missouri State, and I'm asked often here in the first month, so how is the trimester started for Northwest? And I suppose, ladies and gentlemen, I could quickly say and get on with the banquet and say, oh, it's been good. It's been a great start. Thank you very much. But I do want to just take a moment and say, I truly believe it's been one of our strongest starts ever. And let me just give you a couple of thoughts behind that. We had a near record freshman class this fall with freshman enrollment up 11%. We've had a ribbon cutting of our Foster Fitness Center honoring Dr. and Mrs. Robert and Virginia Foster. We've had a ribbon cutting of our School of Health Science and Wellness. We've been named the top moderately selective institution in the region by the U.S. News and World Report. We're taking place on some academic visioning exercises to really think about the future and think about disruption within higher education. We have a campus master plan going on. We're implementing our strategic plan, our Forever Green comprehensive campaign for Northwest. Successful first year in its quiet phase and off to a great second year. Ladies and gentlemen, we're disrupting from a position of strength. In fact, we took a group of several representatives from Northwest down to a special project in Kansas City. You'll hear more about it in the future. That was today that we had the trip. There's so much going on. For those that haven't been back recently, and if you were driving down 4th Street, you probably were a bit surprised to see 4th Street different than it ever has been. We're so thankful for the city of Maryville and the partnership there and all that's going on at Mazingo and so on. So many good things going on at Northwest Missouri State. It is family weekend. One challenge to each and every one of you that are around for this weekend is to connect and to engage. We talk about Bearcats connecting. We ask you to connect with each other, with alumni, but please connect with our current students, with their parents, their brothers and sisters, with prospective students, because it's important. As someone told me, a recent alum told me, you know, it's amazing. I think he graduated in the 90s. He said, getting to know the students of today, it's incredible the quality that we have here at Northwest Missouri State, and I would concur. We have great leaders in place with our Board of Regents, our foundation board. Dr. Mark Dollar, by the way, is that? Okay. Mark and Doc Haar and so many others, just great boards that we have. Linda Place, thank you, and Corey, thank you for your leadership too. In closing, let me just say, Dr. Mote, our Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Matt Baker, our VP of Student Affairs, and myself sent a letter to our students recently, and there's a lot more to it. I just want to kind of give you the highlights. We talked to them about, and these are for new freshmen, but it's really for all of our students, undergraduate, graduate, and so on. We talked about Bearcats we all focus on student success. We are academically successful. We all connect. And we kind of describe each one of these, by the way. We care. We are proud, and in fact, I'll read that little paragraph. We are proud. We wear green. We represent our university well. We share in the university's achievements. We attend Bearcat athletics games. We put a paw on our vehicle. We share our news and accomplishments on social media feeds. We wear our Bearcat attire for Forever Green Fridays and so on. We talked about Bearcats being health conscious. We talked about Bearcats focusing on success, keeping the end in mind, seeing the big picture, being bold, being intentional, and being connected. As I think about our honorees tonight, Shoba and Sue, Gary, Mary, Jennifer, Thomas, and Carol, those attributes of Bearcats are very clear to me. So thanks to each and every one of you. We give you hearty congratulations. Please enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Dr. J. The Distinguished Alumni Award recognized Northwest alumni for their exceptional professional and personal achievement and extraordinary distinction in their chosen field. As the first female to graduate with a degree in finance from Northwest in 1971, she has been a trailblazer in the world of investments, becoming one of the first women to establish an independent investment advisory firm in the Midwest. She gives of her time and expertise to many charitable organizations in the Kansas City area and currently serves on the Northwest Foundation Board of Directors. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2015 recipient of the Distinguished Alumni Award, Ms. Jennifer Nicholson.
I get to lower this down to Dr. J's level. First, I want to shout out to my Alpha sisters. Thank you for being here. We're quite a force on the foundation board, so I appreciate you being here. When Bob and Mike came to me and pulled me out of a foundation meeting and said they wanted to talk to me, I thought, what's up? And they said, well, you've been selected for this award. And I was so honored and so surprised and really kind of taken back, because working on the foundation board, I work with incredible individuals that are so talented, so generous, so committed, that I thought there have got to be so many people out there that deserve this award. But I'm very, very glad that you thought of me. I was talking to one of my friends about it on the board, and he said, Jennifer, he said, I think your experience with this university is unique. And the more I thought about it, I thought, I think that's correct for a bunch of reasons. My grandfather was on the Board of Regents here for 20 years, before term limits started. And he was here in the 50s and 60s when I was growing up, and he was very close friends with Dr. Foster in Virginia. They socialized, they socialized all the time together, and he just absolutely loved Dr. Foster. So I saw firsthand what was going on with the university all the time I was growing up. I remember him talking about coming to commencement, all the things that they were trying to build over here. Even when social unrest happened across the country, we had one event and he, got in his car and ran over here. So it was a real inspiration to me, and when time came for me to go to college, I certainly wasn't going to go to MU. So I knew I was coming here, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I thought I kind of wanted to be an architect, or maybe an interior decorator, or maybe an archaeologist. And I thought about it, and I thought, there aren't that many of those in Northwest Missouri. So my grandmother said, why don't you try it? Why don't you be a business teacher? And I thought, well, okay, I'll give that a go. So coming over here, I think one of my first classes was shorthand. And I was in the back of the room, and all of a sudden they wanted me to write shorthand at 100 words a minute to the Congressional Record. And I sat there and my knuckles went white trying to figure out how to do that. And I said, I have no patience, this is not for me. So then I tried a typing class, and I felt the same way. So I debated about what to do, and I decided to take a corporate finance class because I'd worked with my grandfather. He was a banker. So the first day I walked in, sat down, excuse me, this very nice guy sat next to me, and he was probably a sig tog, couldn't have been a phi sig. And he said to me, he said, what are you doing in here? And I said, well, I want to see how this works. I worked with my grandfather, and I just kind of want to learn the subject matter. And he said, well, don't bother. He said, there's never been a woman that ever graduated from Northwest in finance. And so I thought, wow, the gauntlet has been thrown. And I immediately thought about my father. He's here tonight. He's over here. He's 88, still raising Angus. And, he is one of the biggest rebels you'll ever find. He has no respect for authority. And so we used to barrel race and show horses. And when we started doing pleasure class, he said to me, he said, when you go into that arena, everybody's going to bunch up in the center. Nobody's going to want to be conspicuous. He said, you're not ever going to do that. You're going to go around the outside of the fence, you're going to wave at the judges, you're going to smile, and you're going to do something totally different. And I remembered that, and that's why I ended up graduating as the first woman to have a finance degree at this university. So luckily, my mother, Lila Dawson, who's also here, taught me some nice values to go along with being a rebel. So it was kind of an interesting combination. But to circle around, I really do think that one of the takeaways from being at the university during that really interesting period of time is that the university, I believe, builds entrepreneurs. And you don't have to be self-employed to be an entrepreneur. You can be an entrepreneur in a big corporation, you can be an entrepreneur as a farmer, or you can have your own business. And I really believe that it teaches people to do that and also to think out of the box. So, I've always treasured how supportive everyone was here to me as I took a different path. So I would just like to just recognize the other family members, my mother, my father, my sister Cynthia, and her friend Harold Jones, my niece Abby and her friend Ben, and then George Nicholson, who was my partner in crime when we were in college and has been a longtime friend. So thank you so much for coming. I'd always also like to take just one more minute before Larry plays me off the stage and say thank you to the staff members of the foundation. You've made my work on the foundation board just so enjoyable. So many people involved, but I just want to say a thank you to Lori Steiner, who, is a treasure to this university. All I can say is we've got to keep her happy. And, of course, Mike Johnson, Steve Sutton, just all the great people there. And then a thank you to Mark Dahl, who's our leader, and then, of course, Dr. J, who has made this university so much more financially sound over the tenure that he's been in. So thanks to them, and thank you for this award.
The Distinguished Faculty Award recognizes a present faculty member for his or her outstanding teaching, service, and/or research contributions at Northwest. The recipient of the Distinguished Faculty Award has been teaching for over 27 years in the Mathematics, Computer Science, and Information Systems Department at Northwest. She currently serves as a Provost Fellow and a liaison to the Northland Center for Advanced Professional Studies program. She is an extraordinary campus leader and mentor to faculty, and I know this firsthand, and will be forever grateful for what she has poured into me and to those blessed enough to work with her. Always putting the students first, she's been instrumental in developing new courses, organizing conferences, and coordinating programs for the department. Please welcome to the platform Dr. Carol Spradling, the 2015 recipient of the Distinguished Faculty Award.
I hope I can make it through this. Those of you that know me, I get a little emotional at times. So first of all, I'm very honored and humbled to be receiving the Distinguished Faculty Award. I want to thank the Alumni Association for hosting such a wonderful event. And I want to congratulate all of you that are receiving awards tonight. The acknowledgement that I'm getting tonight is really very interesting because for those of you that know me, I don't really do anything by myself. I do it with other people. I collaborate with other people. And so in new programs that we've developed here at Northwest or new courses that we've taught that have been very innovative, or working with people from our professional advisory team in the computer science information systems area to working with student organizations, such as the student organization I'm a sponsor for, which is DIGIM, or any other list of projects that I've worked on with others at Northwest. What I want to acknowledge is that I've worked with some brilliant people here, really brilliant people who have great ideas and who are always willing to give and collaborate. And the kind of environment that we work in is very uplifting because those people give, you know, not expecting to get anything back. And to see that whatever we're working for is some kind of educational goal. It's to make a program better, to make students better. And it's so inspiring to work with these people. So I want to acknowledge some of the people that I've worked with. First of all, I want to recognize my husband, who's been my collaborator for 45 years. And secondly, I want to acknowledge two other people who are receiving awards tonight, Mary and Gary McDonald. They've been my mentors the whole time I've been here and have been great collaborators. I want to also acknowledge, I can't list everybody's name, but the colleagues that I have in the computer science information systems area are just brilliant to work with. They inspire me every day. I also want to acknowledge many people I've worked with on projects outside of our department. Many of the projects I've worked on have been very interdisciplinary in nature, from new programs that we've started to new courses. And then also I want to acknowledge the administrators and staff at Northwest that are so great to work with and give us many opportunities that we wouldn't normally have, I think, at many other schools. And then the people that we work with from industry, members that we've worked with on our professional advisory team, truly give us great ideas and allow us to become inspired. And the work that we do is really all to help our educational goals, which is to develop and create students that are just, again, are inspiring to us. People such as Thomas, who are receiving an award tonight, were a student here at Northwest, and now they've come back and they're collaborators with us. So in turn, for me being recognized tonight and achieving this award, I also want to thank all of you who collaborate with me, because you truly inspire me every day. So thank you.
The Distinguished Faculty Emeritus Award recognizes a former faculty member, or in this case, two faculty members, for his or her or their outstanding teaching, service, and/or research contributions at Northwest. The recipients of the Distinguished Faculty Emeritus Award need no introduction. As founding members of the Department of Computer Science in 1980, they have each taught over 8,000 students, served on 41 committees, and mentored numerous faculty and students. After teaching 44 years each in the Mathematics, Computer Science, and Information Systems Department, they retired in May. Please join me in welcoming to the platform Dr. Mary McDonald and Dr. Gary McDonald, the 2015 recipients of the Distinguished Faculty Emeritus Award.
I got nominated to go first, so here I am. Okay. Well, when we came to Maryville 44 years ago, we really only planned to stay about 4 or 5 years and then move on to something bigger, better, something else. But that didn't exactly happen. After 4 or 5 years, we just wanted to stay on, and we kind of settled in and put down roots and stayed for an amazing and wonderful 44 years. So only 40 years more than what we had planned initially. So what made us stay? You know, there's really only one answer to that, and that's all the wonderful people. First of all, our department, a really great group of people to work with, totally committed to providing the best education possible for the students, always willing to go that extra mile. And we really want to thank all the people in the department, several of them are here tonight, for allowing us to share so many wonderful experiences. And a special thank you to Carol, whom you just saw, one of the people in the department who, in an exceptional department, stands out as an exceptional individual within that department. So thank you all for that. And really that spread to all across campus. We always had so much support and encouragement. When our master's program tripled in size in 1 year, we worked with the graduate school, the registrar, the library staff, the wellness center, all kinds of people trying to figure out how to make things work with that large group. And everybody just stepped up and did whatever it took to get that done. Nobody said, oh, we can't do that. This is the way we've always done it. Instead, they helped us figure out how to make that a success. Finally, I have to mention our coffee group, some of whom are here. People from across all areas of campus. We met weekly or several times and solved all the problems of the world, or some of them, or at least we tried. And in that process, we developed some deep and lasting friendships, which we value greatly and continue now and hopefully will continue for many years to come. So it's all about people at Northwest. And I've kind of said what brought us here and what kept us here, and I'm going to let Gary finish up with where we are now.
So now we've moved to Dallas and a new phase of our life and won't be at Northwest daily anymore, but we certainly hope to stay really engaged with Northwest. We don't want to cut the ties to Northwest. We don't want to cut the ties to all our friends here, so we're going to stay in contact with them, maybe up here at Friday coffee group once in a while. And we have some travel companions here too, so we'll be doing some things in the future with them. We also want to stay engaged with students. We have a lot of students that we still are in contact with, and quite a few of them actually live in the Dallas area. In fact, we're going to be having lunch with some of those soon, some of the graduates of our master's program, one of whom even lives pretty close to us. So we're going to engage with them. But we engage with Northwest students in some unexpected ways as well, because in July, Mary and I went down to the License Bureau to get our Texas driver's licenses. And there it's a little more complicated than Maryville. You go in and you wait in a very long line and you finally get a number, and then you have to go wait with about 100 other people until they call your number, which is like 2.5 hours later. So we're looking around and we finally find 2 chairs to sit in, and we sit down and we noticed there were 2 young Indian women who were sitting next to us. I didn't pay much attention. All of a sudden they popped up, they changed places, sat back down, and one of them turned around, the one that moved close, turned around and said, "Hi, Dr. Mary. Hi, Dr. Gary." And we fell out of our chairs, of course. But it turned out it was one of our May graduates from the Master of Science in Applied Computer Science program. It's also interesting as we've been meeting people, how many people there they ask us where we're from and all that sort of thing, and it's amazing how many people know about Maryville and Northwest, even in the Dallas area. So Bearcats are spreading everywhere, following us apparently as well, and so we're going to try to stay very involved with all of them. Thank you very much for the award. We really appreciate it. It's a deep honor. Thank you.
Public Service Award recognizes an outstanding service-minded individual who has devoted their time and energy for the betterment of Northwest Missouri and higher education. A 1971 graduate of Northwest, she began volunteering with the American Red Cross in 2005. She's been on over 30 deployments and currently serves as a member of the Board of Directors of the American Red Cross of Northwest Missouri. A former member of the Northwest Foundation Board of Directors, she continues to serve Northwest by recruiting international students in India and on campus environment enhancement. Please join me in welcoming to the platform Ms. Shobha Brown, the 2015 recipient of the Public Service Award.
Well, I was sitting at my table, and Carla Long, my boss at the Red Cross, said, "Do you have to talk?" I said, "Yes," and I don't know what I'm going to say. So one of the things I'm going to say is, it's about time. Thank you. But seriously, though, I started with the Red Cross in 2010. And about the same time, I sort of talked my way into helping recruit in India. I went to Dr. Hubbard, who of course sent me over to the business school and talked to different people. And I talked my way into recruiting. I kept telling them, I'm Indian. I go to India. I understand the culture. I'm an alum. I mean, you can't do better than that, can you? Well, we tried it, and it worked. And I spent several years working with Dr. Phil Healer. There he is. We worked together to recruit. And Dr. Mary and Gary, they were here answering all our questions, helping us answer the questions that the students asked of us in India. So it's been absolutely wonderful to see this international program grow. It's been easy to sell Northwest because parents are very concerned about their children leaving home. Indian parents are very concerned, and they would often come up to me and say, "Is it safe? Are you sure it's okay for my child to go?" Of course, it was difficult for me to say, "Look at me, I never went back to India. I came out here as an international student and never left." So I had to be careful. I had to be very careful to tell them, yes, it is a safe campus. They're going to learn a lot, and the program is fantastic. It's a year and a half, and they will move on to wonderful jobs. They can either stay here and work for a while or return home and get great jobs or go home and get married or whatever it is. But it's a great opportunity to come to a small town, a small campus, a friendly campus where people talk to each other. I told them, they're used to large classes in India. I told them, I said, it's a great benefit to be in a small class with maybe 25 or 30 students because you get personal attention from your faculty member, from your professor. And you learn a lot that way. And so this has been just a wonderful opportunity to work with students and be a part of the campus. Well, the other thing I do with the campus is work with Dr. Corson, working with Missouri Hope. And that's been wonderful because I bring the Red Cross side of myself into that program. My Red Cross friends are sitting over there. They have allowed me to go on many deployments. It's no longer 30, it's 33. I went to 3 places in 3 months this year. So it's been wonderful. People often ask me why I do this, and I think, well, why not? I've been thinking about this, and it reminds me of, I won't get this right, but a Bible quote that says, "To whom much is given, much is required." And I have been so blessed all my life to be here, to have wonderful friends, family who will come from Idaho, St. Louis, Kansas City, Minnesota, Oregon, Missouri, Saint, and they're all over there. And of course, Maryville. And one of my favorite friends, Elizabeth over there. Hi, Elizabeth. And so we're doing volunteering for the Red Cross is one way I can pay back. If I can help somebody as a Red Cross person, what I can offer people in trouble is just a little comfort, just meet their emergency needs and just give them hope that things will get better. And if I can do that, I get so much out of it. I mean, sometimes I feel guilty being honored, having people tell me what a wonderful thing I do, because I get so much out of it. So I do thank you very much for this award, and appreciate it very much. But I will tell you one more story. This weekend at Missouri Hope, I had the emergency response vehicle. I was out there on Sunday, and a custodian came up. I think his name is Mike Monk. And he said, "Hi, Shobha, do you remember me?" I go, "Well, I don't know." He was a participant. He said, "I remember Everett, and I remember you. I remember you when you were in school, and Everett was such a great man." I said, "I agree." And he said, "It's so nice that you can come out and do this, participate here." I said, "I'm trying to follow in his footsteps a little bit." And he looks at me, he says, "It's not quite the same, but you're okay." So anyway, I still took it as a compliment that, I was on the right track. So thank you very much, and my 2 minutes are up.
Congratulations again. Thank you. The Northwest Turret Award acknowledges a graduate or former student for his or her significant contributions of time and talents on behalf of the university and the Alumni Association. Instrumental in chartering the St. Louis, does anybody have the Cardinal score? Instrumental in chartering the St. Louis Alumni and Friends chapter, she currently serves as co-president. She donates numerous hours and tirelessly works to keep the Alumni and Friends in the St. Louis area connected with the university. As a former member of the Northwest Alumni Association Board of Directors, she wears her green and white with pride and shares her passion for her alma mater wherever she goes. Would you please join me in welcoming to the platform 2015 recipient of the Northwest Turret Award, Mrs. Susan Bearcat Hockensmith.
So deserving.
Well, good evening. It was last May that I had the wonderful news that I was receiving this award, and I can't believe how fast this time has passed, and here we really are all together. And I'm giving you the different perspective. You've heard from the wonderful graduates and our wonderful professors, and I am coming back now as an alumni. First, I have to tell you how incredibly thrilled I am to have my family here. My daughter from San Antonio, Angela, and Laura from St. Louis, and Joe. I have my husband, Dana, Allie from Des Moines now, and Hannah from Omaha. I have people here, 4 people from our St. Louis chapter. My friend Fran and Rich, I knew Fran from like 50 years from middle school, from Kansas City. So it's just really an honor to be here. I was able to find my passion very early in life, which was children, because I was the oldest of 5 children from a dairy farm by Atlantic, Iowa. So I knew that Northwest would be an excellent school for me because of the educational aspect. But also, I found when I came to Northwest how much I had to work to succeed. We had high standards and high values here. I was given the opportunity to achieve and to fail in so many activities, but I persevered, and I was able to obtain a degree that has helped me through my whole lifetime. And in St. Louis, I would say that I had a degree from Maryville. But then, of course, I learned quickly that I needed to say Northwest Missouri State University. While I was here, I also was the head RA at Perrin Hall. I sang in the madrigal and the tower choir, and I was able to just really continue to fulfill any abilities that I felt that I had a strength, and I loved every moment of that. When I had the opportunity 9 years ago to talk to some people from the university about forming a chapter in St. Louis, I was just so happy to do that. And it was even fun to talk those 2 years before we could really form a chapter. And so as those ladies know in the table back there, Barbara and Betty and Pat and Joyce, it's not very easy to get people together to come, but when we do have such a good time, and we just really relish and talk about our good times here at the university. I also need to mention that it's been easy to work with the university because all of the staff are so friendly and outgoing and motivating and encouraging, and especially the alumni board and all the people that I converse with on a regular basis, so thank you to all of you. We were excited last year in October because Northwest played at Lindenwood in St. Charles. And we're 5 hours away, which isn't that far, but when people are so busy, we don't get back very often to the university. So we were so happy to have the fact that we could actually come and watch the Bearcats play. So as Brenda knows, as the co-chairman of our chapter, co-president, I was very nervous about the attendance. I wanted our team to know, I wanted the university to know that we had a very strong chapter, and I wanted people to be there. So I did everything I could, emailing, calling, trying to get people to come to the chapter, to the football game. Well, as Brenda knows, when Dana and I met Dana in 1969 here, as a matter of fact, when we were sophomores, when we drove up for that game, there were so many alumni and friends that came, and they were tailgating and having a wonderful time. And I said to Brenda, there are so many green people here. I was in heaven. It was Christmas in October for me. I was just absolutely so thrilled. I feel in our lives we have to find our passions. We have to find our passions to succeed in life. My passion, of course, is my family. And of course, my educational degree and the fact that we have a business where we care for children, Lakeside Children's Academy. And we've been able to open a home in memory of our son, Philip, the Ponybird home. And Northwest Missouri State University is just right up there with me with all my passions. As you know, on this campus, there is an administration building. And as you know, and if you haven't seen this university, beautiful, beautiful landmark building, there are major towers around this huge, beautiful building. And so the towers are very important to this university. There's a tower choir, and our yearbook was the tower. And up at that building, there is an inscription that says, "And the truth shall make you free." I believe very strongly that we learn that at this university, and we all live that in our lives. And I personally want to thank you all for this wonderful award and this incredibly lovely evening. Thank you so much to all of you.
The Young Alumni Award honors a graduate of the last decade for his or her exceptional achievements in career, public service, or volunteerism that bring honor to our university. As founder and CEO of Social Driver, he has built a company that delivers creative digital and social media solutions for leading companies. An innovator and entrepreneur, He's focused on the intersection of marketing and technology. He was named a minority business leader by the Washington Business Journal and was among the 50 on Fire by DC Inno. Please help me welcome the 2015 recipient of the Young Alumni Award, Mr. Thomas Sanchez.
Wow, this is such an honor, and it's everyone who went before me is a hard act to follow, that's for sure. So, I think when you're a student, in retrospect, the things that you think you're going to learn, and when you're older, it's what you think you're going to learn when you're younger. It's two different things. And when I was a student here, I thought, I'm going to learn a lot about computer programming, and I'm going to learn a lot about how to be a software engineer. I did learn a lot about that here. And but today, the things I work on with social media, they didn't even exist then. Like, they weren't invented. Like, YouTube didn't get invented for 4 years after I graduated. But the lessons I learned here were other lessons, and they were lessons that were more around the values of being here at Northwest, about being a leader and also being a servant as well. And when it came time for us to start our company, Social Driver, we sat down and we created a list of 5 values that were going to be the values that our whole company was built on. And the number one value for me, and the one that's always stuck out for me, is feel good at the end of the day. And the reason why is because when you're in sales meetings, you can do a lot, you can say a lot, but it's really how you made the person feel. And when you're asking somebody to choose your company for their career and what they're going to do with their life, you can say a lot and you can promise to do a lot, but it's really ultimately about how you made them feel. So feel good at the end of the day has always been the value that I've thought of most in business. And I think about that in my time here at Northwest, and I remember Dr. Healer, you and I spending many afternoon in your office talking, and I remember we talked for hours sometimes, and really I don't even remember what we talked about. And Carol and Dr. Gary and Mary McDonald, I know that you did a lot that, to make me successful as a student, and I may never know all the stuff that you did. But I know that after my conversations with Dr. Healer, how I felt, and I felt like I could go into the world and I could do anything. I could be anything I wanted to be. And I remember spending time in Carol's office as well, and even recently, and I spend time with her and I feel that same way. And I think that that's what's magical about Northwest, is we all come from different backgrounds. I grew up on a farm. Some people come from small towns. I know a lot of people at Northwest, our parents didn't go to college. A lot of us are first generation college graduates. But when we're here, we feel special. And we feel like we can do anything we put our minds to. And anyway, I just thank you tonight for this this honor, and I thank you again for making me feel really special. So thanks.
I'm looking for my other pages because it says here that concludes tonight's ceremony. Not yet. Let's give a round of applause for Larry Mannesmith, our 2005 Distinguished Alumni Awards recipient, for sharing his musical talent on a brand new piano with us this evening. I'd like to offer my heartfelt thanks for you all being here tonight, for coming and supporting the Northwest Alumni Association and celebrating with me the many accomplishments of our recipients. You can help. We're always looking for deserving alumni and friends to honor. If you would like to submit a nomination for an alumni award, you can do this in several ways. Perhaps the easiest, most effective way would be to write your nomination letter by letter on a series of $10,000 bills and mail them to the Alumni House. Bob, would we accept that? Or are we looking for a larger denomination, smaller? Okay. Hundreds are just fine? Great. Thanks, Bob. Truthfully, we'd love to hear from you. Join with the Alumni Association in partnership, and please help us honor and recognize those alumni and friends who, like those who've spoken with us this evening, who make Northwest the place for where faculty and staff, with the assistance of committed friends, focus on the growth, development, and success of every student every day. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Remember, always step out in pride wherever you go and whatever you do. Let's give these Bearcats one more round of applause.